Put a lot of hours in. You can say 6.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, boy.
Now,
All right, I don't think we have a flag, do we?
We need a flag.
We do this every time.
Well,
Hold
we
on.
can still pledge
Bring up a flag.
allegiance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
gonna
wait,
bring a
I
flag.
don't have a connection.
You know
Oh,
what?
I need the,
I can pull up the US flag. All right.
Hey, Diane's.
oh, I'm gonna write that one. Very good.
Just like this every.
No, I got it. Nobody's
All right.
Okay, all right. Gotta be pretty fast. We're calling the meeting to order. And we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. I want to welcome our auditors. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dina D'Amico, and I'm Laurel Pet.
Okay. And
Or Pet.
How's that? Can you repeat that, Dina? And Dina.
They are the wonderful, wonderful auditors who work with us every year, go
Last
for our
Yes.
financials.
Yes.
name
So I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda so that we can put our auditors on the agenda first before anything else, so they don't have to sit here for
Do
the.
we have to adopt it before we amend it?
No, you,
No, you can amend it before the adoption, therefore.
I imagine.
I second the motion.
All right, all in favor of amending the agenda so that we can put our auditors on first, so they have to spend the night here?
Okay.
And then I will make the motion?
Yes.
Yes, seconded by, Casey.
No,
I made it.
Pat made the motion, I second.
Yeah.
And it's unanimous. All right, would you like to,
So,
give your presentation?
good evening, board, staff, and members of the public. Again, my name is Dina D'Amico. I'm here with Lorelei Pitt, and we represent the auditing firm of Lorelei A. Pitt, EPA, PC. And we're presenting the draft of the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2021. The draft financials have been distributed to the board and audit committee. And in the process of completing our audit, we sampled and tested the cash receipts, cash disbursements, and payroll based on generally accepted auditing standards without any exceptions. We planned and performed our audit of the financial statements and considered the results of internal controls. We did not identify any deficiencies in internal controls that we would consider to be a material weakness. We've interviewed various employees and members of the board who were involved with the financial activities of the library. We'd like to thank the library staff for helping out to complete this audit. Are there any questions from the board?
So none, we had an opportunity to review everything, sent it out, any questions that did come up, we were able to field, in-house before sending it out to you guys. So I think other than that, just our great thanks for all of your hard work year after year and continued partnership, so thank you.
It's a pleasure to work with you.
We appreciate that opportunity.
To many more years.
Yes?
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Any questions for us? Anything that we as a board could be doing better? Anything that the staff could be doing better other than the lack of exceptions? Any performance improvements? Any suggestions?
So we do provide you our annual report on the findings of or things of that nature that are immaterial that we just like to present to you. That'll be with our final audit report that we'll issue over to you. And actually, I also have your tax return.
Perfect.
So I'll leave that with you.
And the documents got over to you today.
We did, thank you.
Dina, I have one question, even though I've been at this a while, and I think Netta brought it up about the income tax we don't really pay income tax,
No,
correct?
you don't. You're a not.
But you still have to fill out an income tax form. Okay.
So I have to wait for that till I file my taxes. We have this for individuals, the individuals on the board as well? No, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I was
So,
confused
The
about.
organization is just like any other corporation.
Yeah, okay, no, that's because I thought, forget it.
The organization is like any other corporation.
Yeah, I know
Everybody's-
they have the organization, but I was just confused.
You thought you were gonna have to pay taxes as a
No.
volunteer?
Well,
Unless you wanted a reduction.
you know, when I was working with, when we had people that we paid expenses for to come and be on our board at the pharmacy magazine, and they were paid an honorarium, but they actually had to pay taxes on the expenses we reimbursed them for, which became a
So
sore point.
it's an element of what's called imputed income, I believe.
And
Yeah.
maybe, I probably should have had the board introduce themselves to the two of you, so you know who you're dealing with, so.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Dina, I do have one question. This was just because I was so busy writing stuff down. This is the audit for the entire year, right?
That is correct.
And then, so it's 2021.
Your calendar year, January 1st to December 31st.
Okay.
All right, John, you wanna start?
My name is John Fontana. I've been on the board since January. I don't know what else.
Well, tell
He's
them
a
what your
fencing
business
expert, he's a
is.
space guy. he's
Yeah,
a-
right.
I do presentations here about NASA subjects, space. The next one's going to be, is there life out there? Then followed by, no jokes.
Go ahead.
He's underselling himself. He's an official NASA ambassador. So it's not just a hobby. He's official.
I'm officially part of a NASA program. So I have to abide by all NASA rules and all that sort of stuff, budgets. I'm a fencer. I have my own human resources consulting firm listed in Who's Who. And that's about it.
That's pretty good.
All around, knock around guy. Yeah, there you go. You guys know me, Casey Auerbach, been on the board for what, 5 years?
I guess.
Something like that.
2007, yeah, 5 years.
5 years now. You know, local to the area for about the same amount of time. And what else can I say?
That's good.
Finance guy.
Finance
Sure.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
They know me,
A
so
solid
it's easy.
finance guy.
I speak to them.
Thank God for Casey. He makes life so much easier.
Simpler, not
Yes.
easier. Just
Oh, simpler. I've had, yes, he is. I'm Pat Shanley, president of the board. Casey's the treasurer. I am a retired high school librarian. I was librarian in Pearl River for 33 years. And I've lived in Monroe for 47, I think. I would.
Hi,
Yeah,
Diane,
that's
and
like
I'm a
something very-
retired social studies high school teacher. I've been on the board for 3 years, I think.
Something like that, I don't remember.
Time flies. And yeah, it's fun. And I'm a Monroe resident for about 40 years. Yeah.
I think I got 4 years in Monroe. I'm Nicola Brown. And this is one of the first places I came when I moved to Monroe. So my daughter, she's 7, avid library visitors, and somebody saw and asked if I would participate on the board. I work within the mental health field. I've been on the board
Two or three?
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah.
I'm Netta Tishi. I'm also retired from a host of variety of different things. And I've been on the board since November. It's been a privilege for me because the libraries have always been my favorite places. And reading is my passion. And I am a writer.
Hi, I'm Carol Connell Cannon. I'm a librarian. I'm working part-time right now in Middletown and Haverstraw. I've been living in Monroe for about 22 years, and it's great to be, volunteering for this great institution.
Well, I've been in Monroe for about 30 years. My mortgage is almost done.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I should probably add, I've been here for 39 years.
Excuse me.
We'll have a mortgage burning party.
We're gonna isolate you.
I tested earlier.
I'm Susan Tomasky. I'm a professor of marketing at SUNY New Paltz. And I also teach ice skating. You mentioned fencing. I'm an archer. I do that.
Oh, hey, together we could be Robin.
I know. And I've been on the board for less than a year. I don't even know, so however many months. And I've been living in Monroe those for maybe 20 years. Originally, before that, I was from Boston.
I almost did.
I figured because we're
you.
technically being recorded, so for posterity's sake, just from a professional
The
background.
rink was condemned.
You know me, but I'm a CPA,
Yes.
public auditor at KPMG for 3 years before private practice, or private side at JetBlue for 10 years. So I was accounting side, and then I was internal audit for that for years. It bounced around, and now I'm in finance, budgets, and forecasts for biomed. So, and that's me.
And we're missing Terry Schumer, who isn't feeling well tonight. Terry's a music teacher, but she has other background too. And I just feel we have blessed with all the people we have on the board. A really wonderful group who work hard and contribute a lot. Got a lot of different talents here, and we work well together. Yeah, it's fun to be on the board right now.
I'll remind you of that some other time.
Yeah, well, you never know. Well, thank you very much. I'm
Wonderful to hear.
glad we don't have to hold you up too much at this hour of the night. It's our pleasure to be here. Well, thank you, Lorelai. Enjoyed it very much. Yeah, it's great to have you.
The invitation, actually.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way.
Well, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Not just in an official capacity. Sure. Anytime you want.
Yeah.
Especially if you want a book.
Or to attend one of John's classes.
Yeah.
That's right. I
Actually,
can tell you how to get to the moon.
we're having a meeting of the science fiction book club next week.
And it's next week. I gotta finish the book too.
Well, it's a really small book. Fahrenheit 450.
Get the Cliff Notes.
Okay, group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yes.
I'm sure I'll talk to you guys this week.
Yes,
Definitely.
So, disposition of the minutes, did everyone, check the minutes? I put out one thing, one correction
Yep, that's
on
all.
the date. Netta, I don't know if you saw it.
I did, but I've relinquished the minutes to the minutes keeper. Did you get them?
Yeah, I got them, read them, but I didn't change the date, because that was gonna be one.
I know.
Well, can we have a vote? You want them, who's making a motion to accept the minutes?
With the change.
Good night.
Good night, thank you.
Good
Thank you.
Absolutely, please.
With the changes, the change of date. Can,
I'll make motion.
Carol makes a motion, who seconds, Nicola seconds, all in favor? Unanimous, beautiful. No problem.
That's correct.
Okay, and what about the, especially emergency meeting?
Saunders, that's just the
Those two
official.
ones we're talking about.
Yes.
Right, because we had no minutes from the other meeting, we didn't have a
I'll make
quorum.
sure it gets out to
A quorum.
A four and a four.
All right, public comment, I see we have visitors, so would any? Yes,
Yeah, good evening. My name is Mike Levy. I'm here with my wife Lorraine. and we're residents of Monroe. I spoke with Susan Johnson, and she thought I had a good idea that I should present to the board. I think we have a very serious problem across the United States, but right here in Monroe. And that is 1 in 7 children live in hunger. And now with inflation, the need is even greater. There were 11 million children that live in a food insecure home. During World War II, there were victory gardens all over this country. Back porches, front porches, windowsills, rooftops. 40% of fruits and vegetables were grown by individuals. So when I think of the library, I think of it in a number of different ways. It's a place for learning and education. It's a resource place. But very important, I think it's a key center of influence of how to improve the quality of life in the community. What I'm suggesting and proposing is that you expand the garden club to actually plant a hunger garden and donate the vegetables to the local food bank. If you think you can do that, what we would do is we would make a donation of $500 to get it going and encourage other people to make donations as well. I would help plan and provide ideas as to the layout, what to grow, and so forth. And when the Hunger Garden was up and running, I would promote it so that other libraries and organizations could do the same thing. The need is so great. Just in the last few days, I received from the Salvation Army, Feed a Hungry Person right here in Orange County. And this one from Feed the Children, your gift will be multiplied by 9 times. Well, I would like to make the gift here. I think that this is something that really should be considered, and I would promote it in a number of different ways. And that is, I would contact News 12 TV, the Photo News, the local politicians, to draw attention to this problem and what the library would be doing. I have a couple of pictures to show you of a hunger garden that I did with my 2 grandchildren. And it was 10 feet across by 22 feet. And we grew tomatoes, peas, Swiss chard, arugula, cucumbers, zucchini, eggplant, kale. And they were 12 and 10. And here we are in the garden planning out what to plant, where to plant it. And at the bottom, you can see a picture of the garden. And they were watering it. So these 2 really did most of the work. They did a lot of the planting, they watered, they weeded, and they harvest. So I don't think it would take a lot for the library to maintain a garden. And it looks like you have some pretty nice space out there. And it just takes some little bit of planning and some water and so forth. And I know there's a garden club, and you probably have some staff and volunteers that might help. So I would like to get a reaction to what my proposal is, and let's go grow. We can do it.
From what I understand, isn't there a garden right down here already?
Yes.
That,
Behind the thrift shop, yeah. Presbyterian
the
Church, yeah, they have
Presbyterian, I
a
know that
they
grow
donate
a
all
lot
that.
of produce there, and it's for the food banks.
Well, I think there's a great need, and another one would certainly help.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I have the concern that we're talking about hoping that we're going to be able to expand the physical space of the library, and that, even if we were to start that, we might not be able to continue it in the future, although any amount that could be done, I think would be good, and I think, you know, I don't think it's a bad idea, I'm just not sure about, I think we would have to have discussion about the implementation, and we would have to talk to the folks at the garden club, and I would certainly be willing to give effort to it as well. But I think we would have to have a lot of discussion.
Sure.
Unfortunately, we have to talk a lot about these things.
Mr. Lee, right? What did you get as a output? Like, how much food did you actually donate?
Well, we actually donated quite a bit of vegetables, and we went to the food bank. This was done in Westchester. We went to the food bank in Cortona, and the two boys brought the food in, and they actually were doing a video that day, and they videoed the two boys bringing in the food so they could use it as a promo. And we were up there 3 or 4 or 5 times during the summer and they weighed it every time we brought in tomatoes or whatever it was. They would weigh it, and so we did it a number of different times. So you can grow quite a bit of vegetables, and I think that there's a tremendous need. I mean, there could be 50 gardens in Monroe, and it probably wouldn't be enough. All you have to do is ask the food bank, and they'll
It's
tell you.
also, it's a great education thing, because a lot of children don't know where food actually comes from. I visited a goat place in South Carolina, and that was one of the they had a garden as well, and that was one of the programs that they had to bring school children in, so they could see how food is grown, so it would be probably more than our garden club does, and it's a lot of talk about where it would go and how it would be done. Was that a raised bed garden?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna ask the second part, that is, personnel. Would you be volunteering to help
Oh, yeah.
plan it?
Sure. Yeah, and I have a lot of backup information as to what to grow and how to grow it, and planning it out and so forth, and how to harvest. So I would be involved, sure.
And do you normally ask like the food bank what they would prefer for you to grow, or how does that kind of thing work?
We didn't really ask the food bank, but they were happy to get whatever it was that we brought them. No question about it. And they encouraged it for sure.
Yeah.
And I think if you call the food banks in the local area, they would tell you there's a tremendous need, that they just don't have enough.
First of all, just before I even get into the spiel about tonight, I want to say, excuse me, thank you for coming out and expressing your
Said that.
ideas and being part of the,
Yes.
the process here. You know, we don't often get visitors, and it's so great and encouraging to get that kind of feedback and get that kind of, you know, advice and encouragement and idea infusion, because it's something that we lack and we appreciate it tremendously. So that's first of all.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Number two, I'm excited at the prospect of partnering with the garden club, or like even the idea of partnering with clubs and bolstering their budgets to try to achieve more, because it's not something that I think we considered necessarily in the past. So that's also, you know, something that I'm taking away from this.
Good.
Obviously, being the finance guy, questions and wheels are turning already in my head about what are the outlay costs. The big thing that's glaring in my mind is, and just to give anecdotal evidence behind it, I had a friend that used to work at a Dunkin' Donuts, and at the end of the night, they would gather up everything they had and they'd have to throw it in the dumpster. And I go, "What are you doing? There's so much food. There's so many people who need the food. What are you doing?" They go, "It's a huge liability for us. We cannot donate ourselves." And my worry is just on its surface level, being the organization that we are, what liabilities we open ourselves up to by creating food that's for the consumption of people. Outside of that, once we can get over that hurdle, just as Nana said, I think there's tremendous educational opportunities. I think we have the land to do things with right now until we're able to move forward with our long-range plan. So it's just about finding, as you know, as Diane said, the personnel, understanding the implications of it, you know, just as another, for instance, bringing it locally to the conversation that we've been having, even about from a safety perspective with the land the way it is outside, how do we, protect the kids during events and things like that? Now, what does a garden do to that? Or how do we keep wildlife away from?
But it would have to be fenced.
Right, exactly. But
That's a
That's-
complication.
Yeah.
exactly. So
that's-
that's all I'm saying. It's a much bigger
That's
process
a complication.
than the idea of it, because the idea is fantastic. But once we start rolling into implementation, there's zoning requirements. There's a lot of funding outside of the generous donation of $500 to get it all started, because that obviously is a huge leg out to get the program up and started. But fencing alone for a project could be up to thousands and thousands for something that'll be a temporary structure. So
Which is also an impact on our insurance.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is whether or not we can continue to partnership, but think of a more transient opportunity on the decking that we have, maybe in a raised garden bed or something that we can do on a smaller scale to still do a partnership opportunity where we can do educational stuff and maybe have a small yield and work towards, the goal of something bigger in the new space once we have it.
We've also used that space over there for a lot of outdoor activities during the summer, and we wouldn't want to lose that. But another thing that I was thinking that we could probably talk to the people at the Cornell Extension. I'm sure they would be interested in providing help and advice, maybe a lot of help.
Well, a lot of the materials that I've gotten came through there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're very helpful for sure.
Sue has a
I can also
connection.
might be able to get companies in the area that either would donate the fence or help somehow by giving a discount, that type of thing. Whether it be Home Depot or one of the major
Would it be
retailers.
out of line to suggest that we appoint a special committee?
That's what I was gonna
Yeah, I
suggest,
think so.
yeah. I think that, it would be good if we had, a committee just to explore this idea, the ins and outs. And you, John, right?
Mike.
Mike, I'm sorry, Mike.
Levy.
You're welcome to be a part of the committee, actually.
Oh,
Members
no,
of the
That would be
public.
invaluable.
And that's the thing, not just like as an advisor or anything else, members of the public are
Yep.
welcome to be committee members.
I,
So,
that's what I was going to say, that, if we form a committee, it should be with staff, with board members, with you, Mike, leading it, and, the garden club. And, I think we need to, explore who would be willing to be on that. Netta, you're willing, John?
Shoot me.
You may want to shoot yourself.
careful, we're on camera, kids.
Okay, so,
Well, I know
So-
Sue Johnson, she runs the garden club, so I know she was interested.
Yes.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And I think she said there were other staff members that might be.
John and Netta, that's a good exploratory a group.
Mike and Lorraine, you.
Yeah, well, we do go to Florida
Me too.
in December, and we
Me
come
too.
back like the end of March.
Me too.
But by
too.
phone, we can still have contact.
Well, enough of them go to Florida too. Maybe you can meet in Florida.
Where do you go
Yeah,
south?
West Palm Beach.
Actually, I'm in Boynton Beach.
Oh.
There you go.
Two can get together and
We're neighbors.
There you go.
Lots.
Yeah, not too far.
But you're back in the spring when the plant.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, I was going to say, if, the four of you could arrange to meet, maybe we'll use Susan as the point person.
Yeah, she has my contact information.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we'll speak to Sue about this, and she can get people together and talk about it before you leave for Florida.
Sure.
So you have some kind of an idea whether we can go forward with this, because I think Casey has stated it very well as far as the fact that we want to partner with members of the community. We love the idea that you took the time to come to the board and present this. Whether it will fly or not is another story, but certainly it's an idea that's worth exploring.
Absolutely.
And, you're right, it's a shame, there's so many people going hungry. My husband, volunteers at the food bank at, Sacred Heart. And, they fill bags every week with a ton of groceries for people who are in need.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, my wife was a teacher at Washingtonville Middle School, and she would tell us stories of kids who would be going hungry,
yeah, isn't
and
it?
it's sad.
In this country, it's outrageous.
Right.
Be sure you give us your contact information.
Yes.
Oh, Susan has it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, I'll follow up with her.
Yeah, she.
So here's the plan. We'll make Sue kind of the chair of the committee because she's not here.
Uh-oh.
I second.
She's on the Zoom. She
We
can
have a
hear you
lot in
guys.
common with the audience.
If you hadn't come tonight, you would be the chair. To volunteer.
But Sue is interested in the idea. You and Sue have discussed it, so we'll speak to her because she's here, she's in the building. She knows what's going on. Or rather than you or John or Netta, if Sue is in charge, then she can orchestrate it.
Sure.
All right.
And I think we should try to see if we can have an in-person meeting before the snowbirds fly.
Yeah.
Which for me would be December 3rd. And John might end up joining us on a Zoom.
Yeah.
Depending on how things roll, because he's got some other issues going on.
Are you guys zoomable?
Yeah, well, you could always come into the library probably
Right,
and arrange
right.
from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That can work.
So you're gonna.
Pat, you know I'm always here to support as well.
Oh, Elizabeth.
What?
Yeah.
Elizabeth, she's willing to support.
Oh, great.
I'm
Hi,
here to
Elizabeth.
support as
We didn't know
well.
you were there.
I'm here to support as well in any way that I can be.
Committee too?
Yes, you can put me on the list.
All right.
We have a few people on library.
It sounds like you have a background in public relations. Do you? Or do you
I
manage-
do. I knew it out the
Not
back.
you, Elizabeth. We're talking to
I
Mike.
know you
Oh.
two.
No, public relations, no.
Oh.
I was in finance and insurance for 30 years.
Okay. All right. So yes, I will speak to Sue about this unless you want to.
Yeah, I'll talk to Tricia tomorrow.
You, okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Amanda will take care of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And we'll see how it goes.
Sure.
Just one thing I want to add to what Casey said. This is really the people's library,
Yeah.
and the way we get a diversity of ideas is to have more people come here.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of it. And the other thing I want to add is, I know the person that handles that garden behind the thrift shop.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the garden he handles. He's a fellow NASA ambassador.
Oh, really?
I know he's involved in it. I don't think he runs it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not 100%. I know he's involved in the process because the garden club went and we did like a tour of that garden and he
Okay.
walked us through it, what they planted and how it works. And so, but I don't know if he's 100% like the person.
Do we
So-
have children in the garden club?
No, not yet.
I think.
Right now, it's an adult.
That could be
It's an
great.
adult
Well,
activity right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's
One
another
idea.
idea to
The
explore.
rest of this should be to involve children.
Well,
Yeah.
just in case you guys didn't know, North Main does have a garden
Mhm.
because the garden club actually, I think they went and toured their garden too. So there are kids at North Main that are aware of, you know, how to grow and where food comes from. And
Yeah,
And
and he's
we're
involved
thinking
in that
about
too.
it.
yes, he is.
So
Yeah.
as not
So
to
it-
feel like I brought up, and I didn't mean to be negative, it was just the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
But we could have a little different thrust on this and
Mhm.
make it more from the aspect of education,
Sure.
as well as providing food for hungry
If
people.
we do it that way, we may want to explore whether or not we.
Yeah.
Sorry, funny guy again.
No,
Cool.
that's,
Why not?
that's, well, on the other hand, maybe we should also look we've been talking about projects involving seniors. And if there's some remote way that we could have a project that involves seniors and children, I think, ooh.
I gotta say, I'm loving the synergy here tonight. This is-
Yeah, me too. No, well, ideas are great, it's carrying them through.
All I said was synergy, I didn't say execution.
And I quickly looked up like the legal ramifications of doing something like this, and the Clinton administration actually put in place a law that shields the donor. Because they were trying to encourage more people to do exactly what he's talking about. And the concern a lot of people had was, well, am I liable if like something, I'm giving this in good faith. I'm not doing this like deliberately, I'm giving it in good faith.
Yeah.
And so the law shields the donor as well as the receiving organization.
Yeah, that
Okay,
makes sense.
thank
Yeah.
great
That's great.
information.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Well done.
Good Google.
Yeah.
sounds good.
All right, first
Great.
hurdle over. Special committee assigned. All before
Okay,
new business.
so
This
we
is
have a
good.
plan, and
Well,
we thank you very much for coming and presenting your idea.
Yes.
And-
thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
We'll be in touch through Sue.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sounds great.
Oh, we'll look
I just
forward
have
to
one question. Your grandchildren in Katona?
And, well, they live in Bedford, not
Oh,
far.
okay.
I'm sure you-
I have grandchildren in Katona.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they probably know the Katona food bank, yeah.
If any of your grandkids in Bedford Hills and
All right,
Katona
thank
want
you.
a tour of the
Thank you.
firehouse.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for coming.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Night, thanks again.
Thank you.
Look forward to talking again.
I'm sure you want. It's like the best thing.
Oh, yeah. So it was the one over by the park.
All right, let's pull it together.
Well, you should, just to interject here, you should ask the public on Zoom if they have any public comment, because we have to include them as well.
How many people?
Right now, we have Elizabeth, Mike, Lorelei, and Sue, so staff members.
Oh,
Hi, staff.
does anybody have any questions?
Everyone volunteer.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to hear that the garden club is doing well. Happy to see it come about, and I'm happy that the Zoom meeting is going well from the other end and from your end as well.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nice to know that it's coming through okay.
Yeah,
because you do worry about
I asked
that.
her how the sound was, and she said it was fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful.
good.
Okay,
All right.
so I guess. nobody
No
else
other
has
public
any-
comment? Everyone good?
Looking at black squares. See if they have anything to offer, no?
Everybody's off mute.
All right,
Okay.
thanks, guys.
Director's report.
Yes, okay. All righty.
Great things going on.
Yes,
Okay.
exciting things. So I'll highlight a few, and then if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Just a quick number, we currently have 8,517 card holders as of last week. Now that school's back in session, our students who have received cards through our library card distribution, when we go into the schools, we've been tracking them. Now that school's back in session, we have about 41 active students through that program, so that's exciting to see. Year of the Arts, I shared in my report the winning picture of our photography program, so that went really well. We had the lovely exhibit. It was a rotating exhibit of local artists. We had about 6, so that was exciting. When I contacted the woman who won the gift card, she was so surprised. She didn't even know there was a prize. She just submitted her photo to submit her photo, which was great. It was exciting. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much. You made my day. So that was exciting to spread some, happiness. Year of the Arts continues. November is literature. December is cooking. This is the last week to submit your cookbook recipes. If you have any, please.
I do.
Thank you, Netta.
I said 2.
Thank you, Netta.
I keep leaving the thing up at the top of the screen so I'll remember.
Notice we never write anything down in our applications.
Great.
We're retired. We don't ever write down.
Well, sometimes you just gotta write
Wait
it
a
out.
minute. One of my recipes was blueberry muffins with options.
Yes,
With
yes.
options.
We do need some follow-up information. I did email you about that. So
Okay.
we do need some follow-up information from you just to be accurate.
We're Irish. We don't cook.
Who's the potato?
Cabbage. I
Um,
said the smallest cookbook in the world is the Irish cookbook. Yeah, right.
I did want to mention, obviously, at this point, everybody knows that our budget did pass. Right. And so thank you to our staff and our board for all your hard work with that. We did have a bump in the absentee votes. So when I sent you the screenshot of how many yeses, how many nos, it's actually more now. So it's by, I think, a margin of 504 more yes votes than nos. So yeah, so it's, absentees were, yes. So that was great, and I did circulate. I don't know if everyone had a chance to read the little clouds of what people said about how they feel about the library and what they can do at the library. That was really nice to see how our patrons feel about the library.
We read all Maryland.
Yes, yes.
A lot of interactive.
This is amazing. I spent 3 hours a day, 7 days a
I read
week.
Yeah, we read that one. We love that one.
That's great. Yeah.
I think that should be framed somewhere.
Seriously.
Only at the library do I feel like the librarians are so nice and activities are so interactive. The library is a great place for kids. Love, oh Marilyn.
She did. She wrote a few. It was
Yeah, she had
great.
to have one of each.
It was
I
really
like
great.
the way she spelled interactive.
Most of you met our new children's assistant.
Yes.
Nicola, you came just as she was leaving, so I'm sure you'll meet her.
Oh, yeah.
Diana, she was a teen volunteer, and she's a Monroe resident, so it's exciting.
Is she Diane or Diane?
Diana. I put Diane. It should be Diana. Yes, so now we have two Dianes and a Diana. Not to confuse
Oh, boy.
anybody. I know. What else did I want to go over? We do have a new database through RCLS Vet Now for veterans. So it's a great resource to show them about housing and healthcare and education and mental health. I'm gonna, like I said in my report, I'm gonna push it out to the village and to the town. Hopefully they can send an email blast about it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they had a webinar about it today. I didn't get a chance to attend, but I will get the recording. So hopefully I'll be able to share a little bit more information about that. So I thought that was a great resource. Just another update, our snowflake raffle is going great so far. We've passed.
We're already in the green.
We've already passed, broke even of what we've spent.
$200 already.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if you haven't had a chance to go
Great
up front, we just finished. Melanie just finished hanging up all the snowflakes with the prize amounts on it. It's really eye catching. When she was putting it up today, everybody was looking, and it's really eye catching. So it's really exciting. It's really great packages. This time around.
On the website as well.
It is on the website, yes, and there will be a large ad in the photo news for it as well.
When's the last time to buy chances?
December 10th.
December 10th?
Yeah.
10th at 2:59 p.m.
Yep.
That's your last chance
That
to
is-
buy.
Yes, before it gets pulled at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
No. No.
Well, I
You
can
can
still
buy
do
a raffle
PR.
and you can donate it back to the library.
We'll do enough of those, you know.
Also mention that I did get to speak with the Monroe Woodbury High School Art Honor Society teacher. I don't know if you read that. I talked to her about Year of the Arts, and she really wants to help the students over there get involved and know more about it. I had a meeting today with all of the librarians at the Monroe Woodbury School District. I attended the department head meeting, so I shared that information with them as well. They told me to pass along all the flyers every month, so I'm gonna share that with them and really try to get the word out because. Oh, and she didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
So we still have a lot of work to do in terms of getting the word out with this series. So, but it's a great connection so far. Speaking of educators, attached in in the email, I sent the educator newsletter that I worked with Melissa on.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's quarterly, so we'll do the next one in the winter. And again, I spoke with the librarians today, and they said that I can forward it to them, and they'll try and get it to the appropriate person. So hopefully, it'll get distributed, and the educators will be aware of our resources as an extended supplemental resource to what they're doing.
You're doing an amazing job with the schools, I have to say.
Yeah, it's
As a
exciting.
school
It's-
librarian, I know how tough it is.
Yeah, we're going in at the end of the month in November to do North Maine's all of the third grade. So Melanie and her staff did a great job getting those cards together. It's a lot of work. It was over, but what, like 80 something cards, right? It was a lot of cards. So we're doing that, and we collaborate with Woodbury Public Library, and we go together as a unit. So we're really excited about that. Melissa did a great job putting all the goodie bags together for the kids. So that's fun. And then we just finalized it today. We're going to the high school December 8th, and we're going to distribute cards to ninth graders. Not all of them, but 4 ninth grade classes. So right now it's about 60 cards between us and Woodbury. So that's another group of kids that will be getting public library cards.
And what about Chester?
It's still a work in progress. What we've done in the past is we send over the list of Chester students, and then they issue the cards. The hang up is that they want the parents to come and pick up the cards. They won't give us the cards. So it is an extra step for the parents and the students, but it's out of my hands. The teachers know it, the librarians know it. And I've never tracked to see if the students and the parents have actually picked them up. But maybe I will to see if it's happening for sure. But it would be nice. And I've always extended the invite to them and say, do you want to come with us and do it, and distribute them yourselves? But they say they don't have the staff to do that. So.
Has there been a correlative impact of like an uptick in actual circulation as a result of the increase in signups?
Of signups? Of like
going out to all the schools.
Yes, so we actually, Melanie found this way for us to track them. So we are tracking them. And so part of my circulation stats that I provide you are the cards that we distribute through the library card signups. We have active, like Monroe Woodbury active users. So this past month, it was 41 students of those group that we distributed cards to are active users.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So we are tracking them in that sense. Yeah. What else did I want to share? For those of you who haven't completed the sexual harassment training, I did provide the link in my report. So please get that done. If you do it through your work, I just need a notification or whatever. Okay. And I did want to share the We Care What You Think cards, because some of them were nice. So these are comment cards from the patrons that dropped them in the comment box. Great service. They have great programs for kids. The staff is helpful. I like the decorations. The library is a good place to relax and think. The library is my favorite place to study. Love, Lily. I love the books. Thank you for all the good work for the community. Thank you for being an integral part of our community. So those are all for patrons. And then 2 other things. Yeah, 2 other things. I need to attach the holiday schedule for 2023. So I need you guys to approve that. And then the other thing is, maybe we'll talk about it later, I don't know, the information about the Board of Trustees and the Friends outreach, the feedback that we got, the signups and stuff. So I guess we'll talk about that later on in the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Do you want to do the vote now on the calendar, or do you want to bring it up at the new business?
I don't have a preference. It doesn't matter to me.
Why don't we do it now then?
Okay.
Is there any change? There isn't.
No, just the updates. Mary provided the updated list to me. I checked over the dates. Everything looks copacetic. Nothing's changed. It's all the same from last year.
Yeah.
Just updated dates.
I make a motion that we accept the holiday list.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. That was easy.
Yeah. And then just one other housekeeping thing. Please remember to delete your MFL trustee emails. You guys are running out of storage. Casey, Pat,
I keep knocking them out.
I don't
I
even
thought I
know how to
cleared the
get
whole
into it.
box.
right. So that's what's gonna happen is you guys we're gonna get bounce back emails.
I guess I'm gonna have to just come in with my
Yes, I
laptop
would.
and-
I think that's a great idea.
Let's have a clinic.
Yeah,
I need
you know,
to do
it
it
could
too.
be, it
Yeah.
could be a quick
There's
process
no
because I
idea.
still,
Just gotta keep knocking them out.
right, as I still
No,
have,
but I thought I cleared the box and I haven't received like 11 gigs of emails from you guys in the last 6 weeks.
right,
I don't know,
I think-
hard to, it's
I
the
think you have to
program.
delete them and not just archive them. Yeah, because
then you gotta
archiving
go
is just storing them. You have to look through them. You have to sort through them. I mean, some of them you could probably delete, like who can meet when and what time.
Well,
works for
that's it, that's what
everyone,
I'm
you know?
knocking out, but the other thing is then you've gotta remember to go out and empty the trash too.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't,
Password was
I don't do
trust me,
trash.
Charlie.
Yes.
Would I have a husband?
I mean,
for?
I can do a password reset for you guys if you need password resets because you do have. I mean, you have to go into that mailbox to do it. You can't. I know most of you have it
And there's
forwarded.
no like,
Yeah, I
forget,
have it forwarded.
like if you
Yeah.
forgot
I don't think
your,
I've ever
your,
seen
your
it.
password.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
have
if
it
you
forwarded,
can.
so I don't
I
think
think
I've
the
ever
admin
seen
has to
Oh,
force it.
okay.
Where to find the
Yeah.
original
Yeah.
NFL.
Right.
think
Yeah,
it's
I
like-
can. So I can provide that to you guys. I can provide password resets so that you can
And the
log
original link
in.
to-
Yeah,
And-
yeah, and
yeah,
the original link to it.
the
Yes.
link.
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Sorry,
do that.
Amanda.
Not
I
a
know
problem.
you've done this before, and I apologize,
No,
but
it's okay.
having another email is just like,
No, I know. It is a headache. I understand.
It's a
Um,
crazy program too, I'm always,
Yeah.
I
When I,
have
and it
bookmarks,
says, you know, you have something on workplace.
and there's none.
But they're
of
not
that
connected.
there.
They're
and then it
separate.
says, You're up to date. And I'm
They're
like,
separated though. They're not. There's two separate things. So it's
Which
like
is-
it's
you
the
think
email
workplace-
and the
you
workplace
get guilty,
separate.
you think I really should go in and look,
Mm.
I did it this morning, and I go in, oh, you're all caught up.
That
and
might
I'm
be.
like, okay, but I don't think so.
That might be a setting that I can change where I can do something along the lines of less notifications, like only like real updates, not just reminders, because like some of
Yeah.
those things are reminders and not real updates. So
Yeah.
I'll go in and
Okay,
check
well, if you could do
workplace
that, it
and
would be
see.
great, then we would go in and look when it really mattered.
Right, right,
I know, because I feel like, oh, there's something I'm supposed to be looking for, but
There isn't
I
anything.
don't see
Right.
anything.
right. Okay, so those were all my
Things like that.
my things. Are there any questions about my report?
oh, it sounds great. I love what you're doing with the schools.
Mm,
I'd love to see, I understand why on getting kids in, because adults are just so caught up in their
mm.
going to work and coming home and this, that, and the other thing, but maybe the kids can bring the adults in.
Well, there's another aspect of it too, if they've got a good school library,
Right.
they're using that first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some kids who can't get to the library because
Right.
they need transportation.
Right.
If the parents don't bring them, they
Right.
can't come.
Well, I did try to share different resources that they don't have. So they have a
Yeah.
great list of databases there too, but we also have databases that don't have, like tutor.com, Comics- Comics Plus. They don't have that. So that's
Which
a newer
one?
one. Comics Plus. It's
Yeah,
a comic book
that's a
database.
draw.
Yeah, so they were really excited when I talked to the librarians today about that. They were really excited about that information. I'm gonna bring over a stack of bookmarks that they can hand out to the kids
Yeah.
so that they can learn how to use it and stuff. So that's also exciting.
Well, and being able, can the school library provide books online?
Yes, so one of
They
the
do?
so for the high school only, what we do is we go in, we distribute the cards, and then we help connect their public library card to their library account that they have online. It's called Sora, and it gives them access to all of the digital resources that they have through the school, but also the digital resources that they have through the library here, and it triples the amount of what they
Yeah,
have
That's
available.
dynamite.
And what's really helpful is that now a big thing that they do in like the language classes is that the students can then read the book and listen to the book at the same time, and it helps with their comprehension.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big things that we do at the high school. We're not doing it at the elementary school level, but we are doing it at the high school level, and they're excited about that.
Yeah, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I agree in that. I think it's so wonderful. because it's something as a school librarian that I always try to do, and it's very dependent on the public librarian and whether she or he is willing to work with you.
Yeah,
And also getting the teacher buy-in is huge,
yeah,
huge.
yeah. So it's a work in progress, but they were definitely excited to collaborate and learn more and share our information. They said that they would put some of our resources in their teacher, like the Google Cloud for Teachers. So like it'll get disseminated that way.
Great.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can help out with NASA resources?
You know, I'm not 100% sure. I can bring that up.
Okay.
The next time I speak with someone, like I'm going to North Maine at the end of the month, that age group might be engaged. You know, that's North Maine is grades 2 to 5. So I'll speak with Rob Elser there and see if there's any way we can connect and collaborate.
Okay, because I can get some materials from NASA and
Yeah, yeah.
they can be distributed.
Right. Okay, great.
Sign language for that age group.
Yeah.
Story.
Right. For sure.
So
Yeah,
you have
so-
to just have small, she has really small classes.
Yeah, so right now, just at North Maine, I haven't had the other librarians do this yet. Our website is linked on his website. So they automatically get rerouted to ourtutor.com. So they don't have to Google it. They just have to go to his page and then our calendar. So those two things already exist. And I've seen a big uptick of tutor.com because of that.
That's great.
Yes. So I'm trying to talk to the other librarians to see if they could add that because they all use Google Sites. So it was such an easy thing to connect our page to their page. So it's just a matter of getting the buy-in.
Great. Okay. Casey?
All right, so, a couple of things. Start with the housekeeping. Did the warrant audit for the month, everything passed with flying colors as it always does. Thank you, Mary, for all your help and support. Sent out the financials for both September and October. We had one question from Diane, or two questions in that one email. My response was good.
Yes,
Any further questions?
Yeah, the one was that, I don't have it in front of me, I have it here. It was the, CD, in the amount of $104,000 that came out of the
So-
Connect One money market. I never saw that come back. Yeah. That's in the net worth statement.
So I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
It was,
Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, but the 104,000 that was reduction of the money market is what was just the operating expenses of the month, correct?
Correct.
yeah, I just didn't, I'm not used to reading financials, so I just,
So just an education in the financials, as they are there. That negative number or that positive number that's all the way to the right is usually the variance from month to month. In a given month, that expense number, so the where you're reading that right now is essentially on our balance sheet, our bank statement.
and it's coming out of a money market fund.
Correct, because it's we
That's the
slowly
source
move
account.
the operating account money into that, or from there, correct?
Right, the money market is our source account to all the other accounts.
And then the other was just, what does this mean? Was that odd one?
Which one was that?
I didn't print that one out. Wasn't the net worth, wasn't the
Oh.
TIF.
Was it the 7,000? That was a change?
No, it was just the whole thing. I didn't even understand the title of it. Remember that one?
Oh, the trial balance.
Yeah, like what is the trial?
Trial balance is just a
Oh, that,
listing of all the journal entries that happen in the month. So when an expense comes in, it's recorded as a reduction of cash and an increase in an expense. Both of those sentences that I just said are written down on a trial balance. So it's the cumulative listing of every transaction that happened in the month
I just didn't
and
even know
where
what
it
that
was allocated to.
meant.
Or no, if I can, anything I can ever explain, obviously. Was there any other questions with those? Okay, so with that, I'd like to make a motion to accept the September and October financials.
Second? John seconds. All those in favor? Unanimous.
And that's for September and October.
That is for September and October. Okay. With that said, so I have not yet, I was just talking to Amanda the other day, I have not yet had the opportunity to sit down and meet Christina, who is our new bookkeeper.
Oh,
So I'm gonna try in the next week or so, because I know the holiday's coming up, but next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, to try to come in and meet with the team so that, just, so I can meet Christina and also, we can try to figure out, because I noticed that we've been voting on the financials like in groups, like, something holds us up because we've also had the changeover of personnel and everything
Right.
else. So just trying to look at the process and make sure that we're optimizing everyone's role and making sure we can, get the financials on a timely basis. But it'll be a good opportunity to meet her and try some new things.
Yeah.
All good stuff. And then I had something for finance committee. If you want me to bring it up during finance committee, I can do it now or.
yeah, we do
Whatever.
finance,
That's
we'll
fine.
follow the agenda.
So then with that, I yield my time.
Okay.
Can I add something? I just, because I missed the auditing, part
Of
of the
course.
meeting. I'm asking on her way out, I was concerned we weren't filing the char 500 anymore. And I asked her why. And she said, as free association, we are not required to do that anymore. Because I was afraid I know that there's a certain number of years, consecutive years, if you don't file your char 500, you lose your tax exempt status. But she confirmed that that's not our case, we're okay.
Oh, thank you so much for following up on that. That was a great catch. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you confirmed that it wasn't a requirement.
Yeah, because I know it's been at least a couple of years since we did it. So. Anyway.
Well, thank you for bringing it up. I
You're
appreciate it.
Well, they're very good, so most likely they would have caught it if it was,
Yeah, maybe.
but, yeah, but no,
This is
they're
great.
asked to follow it
Everybody
up.
makes mistakes, so it's
Right.
good that it's
They have a lot of
it's
clients,
an
I'm sure.
excellent
So.
point to follow up on.
Yeah. Absolutely, thank you, Mary. Okay, let's go to the standing committees, nominating.
Okay, we had 3 people sign up.
Oh, good.
No.
Oh, no.
As being interested in.
Yeah, yeah.
So I sent all 3 an email, the attachment with the forms
Application.
to apply and invited them to come to this meeting and see how we operated. Not one replied, so I thought maybe it was me. I did it out of my Gmail so that I was kind of confident in it. And I cut and pasted the addresses so I didn't transcribe them wrong. And I didn't get them bounced back. But it was over 3, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Phone numbers with them?
Yeah, there are phone numbers. I did provide you with phone numbers, right?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
want to be too pushy, but I'm wondering, I probably
Maybe.
should.
Somebody want to give me phone numbers?
Oh, you like being pushy? No, okay, I.
Okay. Pushback.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I can show up with a rubber hose.
Yeah, I didn't know whether to follow up and say, I didn't want
I mean, I would. I mean, you did email them, but I mean, I think it's their
Sometimes we-
interest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they overlook it or
Yeah.
the personal contact is always better.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so follow up with phone calls.
You had the one woman that you thought would be very interested, right?
Yeah. The one that I knew she had done programs for us previously,
Yeah.
Nini. She's done the Bollywood program. She did laughter yoga for us recently. She loves the library. So
She's the one to start with.
Yeah. Okay, we'll follow up.
It's possible that people just would say, oh, okay, I have to
Email
take
us.
care of that.
yeah.
Kind of
Tell
Possible.
me about my hours.
We've all
Yeah.
done that.
Or they could do what I did, what I sometimes do. You start deleting a bunch of emails and oops.
Yeah, the wrong one, right? Yeah.
Okay. We'll do a follow up on that. So there's hope there. There's hope.
Yes,
Okay, that's all.
that's it. Okay, buildings and grounds. Do we even know who's on it?
I relate
Buildings and
for sure.
grounds.
Susan.
You were the chair.
Because
You
when I-
had
it
the
was
chair.
weird
Gil
because
was
when I-
on it.
I looked at
John
the list,
and
it
Susan.
still said that you were the chair.
Yep, you're on it.
Surprise,
Surprise, surprise. And you were even here
Oh,
when you
yeah.
volunteered.
That's what I was thinking too, because I saw that like everything gets relooked at in January or something, like who's on what committee and who's in charge of what committees, so I figured it would resolve itself.
So
Progress, no
So
report.
no update then.
No, but what about the siding and all that jazz?
I have to look into the building inspector list that Terry provided us. So
Okay.
I'll take a look at that list.
So
and we
that's,
can-
moot for now.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bylaws, did everybody get back to Terry with their update on their positions and?
I didn't have anything to respond.
No,
to.
you wouldn't have,
I did,
I still need to.
I finally did.
well,
I
get
thought
on it.
Or
but
you're fired.
this is what I said to
Never.
Terry.
Exactly.
Some-
That's what's gonna be.
One of the descriptions, I think, was at least 10 years old. And I just didn't feel comfortable changing it myself.
Which one was it?
I actually have it in here. Oh, the recording secretary. It says take the minutes, distribute prior to the next meeting. The original should be given to the director for permanent file.
Yeah, that needs to be updated.
So I suggest just saying upon acceptance of the minutes should be posted on the library website.
Yep.
And a copy, you keep copies of the permanent, okay. So
I mean, I print them out myself. I put them in the binder,
Yeah.
the board of trustee binder.
But is there, okay,
I mean, there are, yeah, but I print it out. You don't need to
Okay,
provide
so
me
that's
with it,
not-
just an
there were
email
just things
final
like
copy.
that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that right on there.
yeah, that I felt should be updated, but should probably be discussed before.
Well, no, because you're sending it to Terry and then, she'll bring it to the board
Okay.
to amend, the bylaws.
And there was one I did not understand at all, and it came up last year, because by December's meeting, we're supposed to have a slate of candidates who want to have positions on the board, which is next month. So anybody who'd like to have a position should email me and let me know that they'd be interested in vice president, president, recording secretary, or treasurer.
Please, if anyone is interested in treasurer, treasurer.
No.
But anyway, if anyone is interested in any of
Well,
those
I
things.
think I've been kind of. Because I took the minutes when they were here.
I think corresponding secretary like writes all our correspondence to
Oh,
the
forget
outside
that.
world.
I'll
But you're welcome to become recording
I
secretary.
just volunteered for something else.
Only one a night.
Really? 'Cause I-
Sorry, you're too late.
Here's the next one.
When I'm not here.
Precisely.
Good catch, John. All right, so,
We'll get back to Terry with all that.
yeah, okay, finance, you're up again.
Finance, so, and this literally just came up in the last few days, so I haven't had a chance to have a finance committee meeting to discuss it. I figured why not just bring it up during the meeting, and we can discuss it all here together. My personal finance guy, who I use for my stuff, reached out because with interest rates the way they are, he was saying if I was interested, available. So he's at Prudential and he was talking to the tune of about 4%. So I am sending my money over to him because I have some stuff sitting in a savings account that's not doing anything, sitting in the bank. And we recently had the same problem before interest rates went sky high. So normally the game that we play every few months is Mary goes to every one of the banks in the area and puts together a research page of every bank and what the rates are, and then we all go and we shuffle the money around. So we didn't do it this time around because nobody was offering anything. So we have some money sitting available, and what I suggest is we take some of it, all of it, a bunch of it, and structure it in such a way that we put, at the very least, the $250,000 that we normally put into a rolling CD into a 4% CD for the next year, which will yield, just to put it in real world terms, if we leave it in there for 12 months and lock it in now, it's FDIC insured, and we will make $10,000 on it. So
And it has to stay in it for 12 months.
for 12 months, which
We can afford to do.
we can afford to do. With that said, we can take other amounts from our operating funds that will be coming, put them into other, all same investment. It's called laddered staunches. So what happens is each staunch, so each product whether it's a 30-day, a 90-day, however they structure them, each one is FDIC insured up to the maximum amount. So we can take what we know we'll need from our operating account 6 months from now, put that portion of it into a 3-month and ladder it off, and we would make an incremental portion thereof. It's all depending on how finite we want to get with it. And what I'm suggesting is just that we have the conversation and are open to making the move in this direction. Wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it.
I think we should do it. My one concern is the Fed has indicated it's going to keep raising rates. So perhaps instead of putting all of the $250,000 in at this point, locking it in for a year and watching the rates go up, you put a portion.
So the benefit of this is that at any point in time, you can take your money out. It is not locked away from our control. You can take it out penalty free, and the only penalty is you forfeit the interest that you would have made had you left it in.
So you get the interest
You
up
get the
until,
interest
Up
today.
until the date you
Up
pull it
up
out.
until the date you pull it out.
Then I agree with it.
So it's literally, there's no risk
There's
involved.
no, it sounds like a win-win.
Yeah.
So why would we not do more? You're saying some, more, all?
Again, it's completely open to what everybody wants to do. There's no negative downside to it as long as we structure it the correct way. I don't know what the liquidation period is, whether it's we get the money in a day from the time where we pull it out, or whether it's a couple of weeks. That would be the only thing that would factor in for me with regard to going beyond the 250 and dipping into what would be considered future operating expenses. Only because there's no risk involved. I'm not worried that the banks are going to go de facto, and all of a sudden, again, even if that was the case, it's FDIC insured up to the amount for that product. It's just a matter of understanding the timing. But as long as we're open to the conversation, I can certainly put my guy or anyone, and again, full transparency. If anyone has any problem with me putting Amanda with my guy, this same approach is probably offered by Prudential and other houses as well. So if you guys want to go with someone else, that's fine. I want to make sure everybody knows I got no skin in the game in this one. But I would put the friend who brought it to me in touch with Amanda so that they can work it out. Otherwise, if you guys want to explore other people, by all means, I empower Amanda to look into other brokerage firms as well.
and you normally move it from one firm to another. You don't have a long-term,
So
you're always invested with Fidelity or something.
So let me back up. We, as the library, normally do it around banks around town, like Federal Credit Union or Hudson Valley Credit Union or Wallkill and Trust and Loan. There's a couple of ones around here. What the benefit of using a full brokerage house like Prudential is they have national contracts instead of just local bank rates. Me personally, yeah, I roll it from financial institution to financial institution. It's just a matter of them clearing it through their clearing houses at that point. So when I'm going to give a check to this guy with my own money to deposit for, you put in 10,000 that's sitting in a savings account anyway, we make $400 a year. It's just sitting there anyway. When I do it, I make out a check to it's like NFS Financial Services. And then when I need the money back, they either copy a check or I have them cut a check over to, I inform them of who I want the money rolled to, if it's your 401k, they will send the check to you, but in the name of the next institution, and then you deliver it to the next institution.
Are there any fees involved?
Not that I'm aware of, but again, we can discuss that.
That's an
Important question, yes.
Absolutely, 100%.
And
But
this
as
is,
far as I've been made aware, there's
Okay.
no fees.
and this is being moved, the 250 is coming out of where?
So my assumption, and one second as I pull it up, would be the 250 piece is going to be what's sitting at Key Bank right now. And then if we wanted to move any more, it would be the Connect One account ending in 540, from which we make transfers into the other Connect One bank account. And that's just a buffering activity between where our money, our $1 million plus sits from the taxpayers, to what we just utilize on a monthly basis for expenses, just to shield ourselves from a checking account.
Completely liquid,
Say again?
completely liquid.
Yes, ma'am.
Prudential was excellent. when I was with Random House, I used to manage a similar fund. And we used Prudential.
Yeah, they're great, strong reputation, strong house.
I used to get great rates too.
Yeah, absolutely. They have wonderful financial products, and also their whole life, their whole as investment vehicles are also a great product.
And I use them for a lot of my clients too.
Do you wanna make a motion, or
Sure.
does anybody
well-
make,
I don't think we need a motion, but do we?
do we?
Normally, we don't do it by motion, just to reinvest the money between, the CDs and things like that.
Okay,
This was more of a committee discussion
okay,
that normally I would bring to the committee. We haven't had a committee in the past to bring it to, and now that we had, I meant before, the last time we moved everything around, we didn't have a finance committee. And then now that we have one, there was no need to move it because the rates were so low.
so then I guess, basically it's a consensus is what you're looking for.
That was it. It was just, let's have the discussion here instead of in the committee.
Well, two things. First of all, I'm sorry, I forgot that I was on the committee.
I did too. I didn't realize I was still on building.
Secondly, I think it's a great idea.
Awesome.
No, apparently I'm buildings are grants.
What was that, Susan?
It's apparently I'm buildings are grants.
And who knows,
Yeah,
the
we
10
put you
grand
on
maybe could pay
buildings
for
and
the,
grounds
the
because
park.
your husband was,
Yeah, you volunteered your husband.
Yeah, sounds great.
Right, awesome.
I still agree with myself.
I will
Yeah.
have Jim get hold of it tomorrow.
okay, so we've got consensus on that, and you can move forward.
That was it. That's all I had. And as for audit committee, you heard it here first. So,
Right,
here is a copy of our tax return. If anyone wants to take a look at it, I can pass it around.
God,
It
no.
is thick. It makes no sense, but if anyone would like to read it,
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
no.
And then this is the signed documents for them to keep on file. We filed already electronically today. Everything's done. This is
Beautiful.
just for the record.
Beautiful. Beautiful job, thank you.
It has nothing to do with me. It's all of them.
Yeah.
I did
Thank you,
nothing.
Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Amanda.
Mostly Mary. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
I'm
Thanks,
just
Mary.
just for,
Sounds like
your
the wall-
information, Susan, John, Netta, Terry, and Casey was the chair of finance. Now, everybody's on fundraising and we don't know, no ideas. Oh, boy, let's go to grants.
You got nothing this month.
Um,
Oh, wait, the only other thing is that it was mentioned that we should look into something that would work community garden, if there's anything available for that.
yeah, I went to a lunch a couple of weeks ago with my friend on the, community, what is it, that,
Beautification.
no, where we were trying to get the grant and we couldn't find,
Oh, the senior grant, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the orange and Ulster.
yeah,
Ulster.
I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, I explained to her, and she says, there's money there's so much money, and people aren't taking advantage of it, and I said, well, we discussed it very thoroughly, and that, we decided there was no point trying to develop a grant without a real need. But she said the next one is gonna be, I think, like, parents and children, something like that, which we might be able to get. And she says, you don't have to go for the whole thing, you just go for part of it.
Right.
So,
And when
And
is that?
maybe
Is
that
not
was-
next year, is it? Is it a quarterly or semi-annual?
I think it's like a year, but I'm not sure. You could check with her again. And say, use my name in vain and just say that I had mentioned that there was money and that was gonna be the thrust of it. But that might also be something that could be done with the gardening too. And that might be a place where you could get, some more funding, if it's a parent and child type of thing, learning to grow, understanding,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we also have the Dollar General grant coming up, opening up in January, so we'll explore that one too,
Yeah.
with early literacy and
Yeah,
English as a second language.
yeah, and, the English is the second language would be,
I think so,
there's
yeah.
such a need.
Just on that note, the village clerk reached out to me last week. Her daughter was in the library and had heard that we use the Echo Dot to translate between
Oh,
Spanish
yeah?
and English. She asked me how it worked. So I told her, I explained it to her, and she's like, "Oh, that might be something the village should
Yeah.
we would probably find useful."
Echo Dot translate?
Mm-hmm. It does up to
Way to drive
7.
my husband crazy.
It does up to 7 languages. So
That's so cool.
it was interesting. She had emailed me. I explained it to her, and then literally I was out on the floor, and a patron and her daughter came up, and they were asking how to enroll their daughter in school. And it was just a conversation between Spanish and English. So they would talk in Spanish. It would translate it.
It's neat.
Sue would understand.
Yeah.
She would respond in English. It would translate it into Spanish, and she was able to help her get the numbers that she needed. So I invited, her name is Kim. I invited Kim down for a demo. She hasn't come yet, but she said
Oh,
they're
yeah,
definitely
she's
going to
nice,
explore
Kim,
it.
I know her, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I never would have thought of that.
I used to see Kim when I was walking the pond. She had 2 kids, one in a stroller, and I think maybe 2 in a stroller. Now they're all in college, I guess. Yeah, it's incredible, how fast the time goes, and she was, had the time to walk then. She probably doesn't now.
I asked my Alexa to tell not to.
What was that, Netta?
I asked my Alexa to tell not jokes.
Oh,
I do it mostly to annoy my husband.
So my father's home security system is voice operated. His phone's voice operated, and he has an Alexa. So what he does is he activates all 3 at the same time and lets them fight.
I like it.
So patient, they never run out of
Crazy.
patience.
I actually had somebody tell me that they happened to say something and the Alexa actually snapped back and said, "You don't have to be nasty to me."
Oh, really?
Well,
She said it in
actually-
a calm voice.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah.
I did that with Siri. She gave me the wrong directions, and I said something very colorful to her. And she said, "After all I've done for you."
Oh my word. That is too funny. That is too funny.
Yeah, but my brother-in-law had a thing up on Facebook from Saturday Night Live with Alexa or Siri for old people.
Oh, that went way back, and it
Yeah.
was hysterically funny. It was just like Alexandra,
Yeah, right. every name that
Alexia.
began with an A.
I did have one other thing for fundraising. It's still a little seed of an idea, but when I was at the New York Library Association conference, someone had brought up this thing that they do, an Amazon wish list, and they put it on their website.
Yep.
And patrons who whoever strikes the mood, they click buy, and they just buy things off of their library's wish
The
list.
Woodbury Animal Shelter does that.
I know, I've seen that before. They share it around on Facebook every once in a while. So
I think that's a tremendous idea.
yeah, so I haven't had a chance to talk to all the other department heads about it yet, so I want to touch base with them and see and explore what other libraries are putting on these wish lists. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you probably want to range, but that might be another like passive way to just share with the community some of our needs.
No new tables.
Yeah, and it
So-
isn't. I'm thinking in terms of books or CDs, but it could be furniture or anything else.
Well, yeah, some of them. Well,
Things like crayons.
yeah, that's what
paper,
someone was saying. They
you
said
know,
they
so-
could.
But you can go
construction
the
paper.
full range. I mean, if there's something on there,
Yeah,
like a
Foldable
table
tables.
that's not connected with duct tape.
yeah.
Not that it's connected, it's decorated.
Well, maybe if there's a new
That's the
building,
old
that
American-
might be a good time to do it, because it's a new building, and then people might want to really donate that.
Yeah, that's true too.
Amazon Smile or something.
Yeah, there
like
is,
that.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
There is an
so
Amazon
I
Smile
have-
thing.
I have that
Yeah.
for the Women's Health Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Never thought of
Mary's
those things.
Pence, which is a charity that I like.
I did it for St. Jude's.
I do love story.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we will be exploring that, and then hopefully we'll have a better update to share next month.
Well, that's
Oh, that's
exciting.
great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And more echo dots for more
Yeah, there you go.
translations.
Oh, what
Well,
was
but,
that?
Well,
but, the library put iPads and computers and, it's not, I don't think it's inappropriate to put stuff like that on the wish list.
No.
Out of curiosity,
Uh-huh.
given the fact that you now have a successful use case with the dot,
Uh-huh.
is there any benefit version that has like the visual screen or anything else? You know what I'm saying? Like there's other Alexa devices beyond the dot
Yeah.
that might provide additional functionality that they provide. useful.
Actually, they're
haven't
having a
explored that yet.
problem with the newest release of that big screen that they have.
Yeah.
They probably have to do a software update. It's canceling out other devices.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Cancel culture has gone too far. But Alexa can cancel other devices.
No, I haven't explored
All
that
these
yet.
years, I stood by you and look what you've gone out and bought.
The Amazon Dot, the Echo Dot was really a pilot at reference. And
Yeah.
if you're interested, maybe we should put one in children's also. This idea came from a library in Florida,
Yeah.
and they had them around the library.
In the stacks, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly, that's
yeah.
what I found.
Given
And if you start in reference, and then maybe at surf, and then maybe in children's.
Right.
Children's, I would think, would be a natural place to have.
Yeah. We did recently get followed on the Facebook page. I think it was like Latinos in Monroe, a Facebook group. They started following Monroe Free Library and sharing some of our stuff. So I'm wondering maybe if we put advertise to them that the Echo Dot is available, because I think the biggest thing is that they don't know that they can come and do that.
Great idea.
So maybe
Super.
I'd like to make a motion
yeah.
that we allocate $200 towards investing in Alexa equipment for use throughout the library. I mean, dots are not that expensive.
No,
unless-
it
Dots are very
wasn't.
inexpensive.
No.
Exactly, especially with Black Friday still there.
All
I'll
right.
second that.
All right, all in favor? All right.
All right,
I don't
cool.
even know where to put that. That's we're
Like,
talking about
New
mine.
business or other fundraising.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just-
There you go.
Just inspiration.
I just think it's a good thing. I don't know.
It's great.
Yeah, you're
right, they're not
that
that
expensive.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Allocate
it's-
$200 to Alexa equipment.
Alexa Dot particularly, right?
Well, Alexa
Equipment, right?
equipment is not necessarily dots. Anything that we think will work.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
that's a good
library
business
operating?
model.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the benefit is we might be able to do like a bundle deal where we get one with the visual screen and 2 or 3
Yeah.
dots together bundled,
Right.
Well,
That-
also, I think does Amazon give a discount to libraries? Because I think they give a discount to school. No?
I think that's what Alex ran into.
Yes.
When we first started talking about this.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's a
yeah.
pricing structure.
Yeah.
Since Alex left, do we have anyone that knows how to use the 3D printers and stuff?
No. So currently we're onboarding Jerome, making sure he gets a little more settled in, and then he's confident that he could read the manual and get up to snuff with it, so that we can start accepting 3D requests again. Because right now on our website we say we're currently not accepting any. So I didn't want to put that pressure on him. He's still learning. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, library operating?
Hi, we had a brief meeting this evening, and we will be sending out the performance review for Amanda. Hopefully I'll get it out tomorrow. But it's, pretty much the same that you saw last year. There's a couple things that we didn't put in last year that, because, Amanda was new and we really felt like it was, that, we didn't have enough background to really make any kind of assessment. So we'll be sending those out, and we will, what was our date, Pat? December, no,
28th. Actually, wrote it down. Oh, good.
it was November 28th. So we would like those back on November 28th. And that way,
And you're sending them to me and I'm gonna tabulate them.
Right, and they're gonna go to Pat, and that way we'll have them for our meeting on the 12th. So that's it.
Very good. And now, long-range planning?
Yeah, Thursdays are our big day of having Jim Kovac, Kobach, from the Mallory MDO Architects out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Isn't that where they had the shooting?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I know. On Thursday, so he'll be here around 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure how long he's staying. I know I'm only available until about 11 that day.
I think that's more than enough
I think
time.
so too.
Yeah, I do
Absolutely.
too.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
But I know that he wants to just come and get a feel for the library.
Yeah.
Anybody is invited to come.
Mhm.
I know afterwards he said he's gonna kind of walk around the neighborhood.
Mm.
I encourage him to hit up Java Joe's and all of that.
Mhm.
He wants to join him.
Mm.
Go walk the ponds. He just kind of curious about what the library is looking for in terms of like, do you want him to craft plans, rack his brain? He had sent me some information. I think I sent a link to people in the email. Hopefully you all have gotten that.
There's also some printed stuff of what he's done for library, so he did send a little care
Oh, no, I
package
didn't
of public.
see that.
No, I just got this in the mail.
Oh, yes.
So he did send a little care package of public library design, and I think there's enough to go around of, library design things, so.
Cool.
I believe I put it in an email.
Yeah.
With this
Mhm.
link to this information. that he
Yes,
also sent.
yeah, it is online
When
as
was
well.
that? I probably missed it.
Yeah.
I can try to send it again.
Oh, thanks. So,
These rules.
because otherwise you would have.
They're all the same, it's
Yeah,
just,
I might
just
have-
take one and pass, yep.
He did. In talking to him most recently, he was at the State of Virginia Library Convention. He was saying very focused, catered towards libraries. He is from Rockland.
Yeah, that's what you had said, yeah.
And very excited to be a part of something else in this area. And he was a part of the New City Library renovation. I think I've said that before.
Yeah.
So he has the New City meeting that afternoon. So he'll be here in the morning. And then we'll do another meeting November
29th.
Yep, with Robert Dadras. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Is that the one
It was
Terry?
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to, he hasn't reached out to me, like Terry had said he wanted to talk to somebody from the library, and she
Yeah.
had given him my information, CC'd me on an email, and I've called him, and he hasn't, we were connected. So hopefully before the 29th, we do connect. He'll be doing a presentation of sorts on the 29th. That's at 1:30. We're gonna do that here, right?
Yeah.
So the 29th at 1:30 for all who are interested. We'll start off with Robert via Zoom. He'll be, and then we'll follow up with how things went with Jim in our next steps.
I did reach out to Paul Mays and I haven't heard back from him yet. I'm gonna follow up again and see if I can make that connection.
He would be interested.
Yeah, so I'll follow up again. Interestingly enough, the Croton Free Library reached out to me today. They're interested in using his company, and they have us listed on their website, and they wanted to talk with someone who had been involved in this process. They had a few questions. So obviously I can't answer their questions, but maybe I'll reach out as a follow-up to the board and Mary to see if anyone's interested.
Was he not exhibiting at the conference?
No. They
He
weren't
did
there.
in the past.
I didn't see them there. Yeah, like I said, I emailed and I haven't had a response back, so I might just pick up the phone and call.
Yeah, do. He's
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah,
Really
okay, I'll
nice
follow
guy.
up.
It seems to me, at least they used to exhibit it at the conference.
I might have passed. I zipped
Yeah.
through the trade show pretty quickly.
Didn't
They
even
weren't
stop
there.
for candy.
No, I didn't stop for candy. Trying to be good.
That's half of what it's about. Okay, so we're good with library, with long range planning for now,
For now, I
and
think,
we've got these back to backs on the 29th.
The 17th and the 29th. So
Okay,
whoever's
17th, I swear with, I'll be there. Public relations, Terry isn't here. The ad hoc committee, we didn't meet again, but I talked to Terry on the phone this morning when she was saying that she wasn't gonna be able to come tonight. And I said, I thought it would be nice if we had another get together at Christmas time, like we had with the staff and the board. And maybe the staff could, or the board could provide cookies or something you can buy.
I'll contribute.
As soon as she walks out of the door, we're nominating her chair.
Cookies.
I won't be here.
Please share.
Oh, that's right, you won't.
We'll send you a bill, don't worry.
And not
It's about your fingers are broken, you can't call a caterer.
I do know a caterer.
Oh, okay, so we're talking about that. It was so nice the last time. And I think it's great because Diane and Carol had not met Sam before. I guess because
Right.
Sam
She
was
wasn't there.
part-time at that
Yeah,
point, right?
Yeah, and Jerome was
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
yeah.
Now we'll meet Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but she's not full-time, Diane.
Diana, no, she's part-time.
Yeah, so she may not be there. I think that's why we didn't. Bye, Nana.
Bye,
Happy
Nana.
Thanksgiving.
Good night.
Take care.
That, we were talking about that, and I think it's a good idea. And, if you can't bake, you could buy. I'll get the coffee this time, I promise. So we will, Terry and I will be in touch. Okay.
And there was no possible date going out.
Well, we'd have to talk to Amanda. You wouldn't wanna, what day would be good for you?
Well, Wednesdays are always
Yeah,
better because we're closed to the public
right,
at 12.
yeah, that's what I was
Right, right.
thinking, but there's some, like the first Wednesday.
The first Wednesday of the month is our
meeting
our
time, so
all
we
staff,
wouldn't wanna do
right?
it
And the
then.
second Wednesday of the month they do a computer class, but I don't know if they're doing one in December. I'm not
Okay.
100%, so I'd have to go and look at the calendar.
All right, so if you can check that out.
Absolutely,
We
yep.
can move with it.
Mhm.
Old business. New business. Monkey business.
You have
Any
professional
trainings?
development there?
Yeah.
Is that all?
Oh, yeah,
Any
I was
trainings,
delighting over that. Did anybody take any courses that they would like to discuss? No? I don't think there's been much out
There
there.
hasn't been a lot. I will say I did put in my report that starting in January, I will be able to provide you
I
with
did see that.
training. So it'll be up to you guys to decide if you want me to do a 30-minute training within a board meeting, you know, either within the board meeting or 30 minutes prior, whatever your preference is, I
that'd be
can
great.
provide that.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. What'd you say?
We'll put it to use, yeah. And then the other training was the sexual harassment training.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's on it.
How long is that?
45 minutes.
Yep.
All right, I can bear
When I
that
was
much.
on it, but you can't stop.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
gotta go
gotta
through
do
it.
it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, all at once.
Okay.
And we have a form in case you've done it before.
No,
Just
you
have
just,
to teach manual.
if you like, you have to do it every year. So if you like have a certificate that you completed, you just forward that to me.
Oh, okay.
And how are they gonna send you a certificate?
Yeah, you fill in your email and they email it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
How, for the 2022 year, like it has to be done
Mhm.
with the
Yeah.
2022 year.
But you were saying that if you do it with your employer, you don't have to do this one.
No, but just forward me the certification that you did it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
through your employer. It
Same
doesn't have to
thing
be through.
this year though.
Right. Yes.
I
So
can't
if
do
you've
that.
done it already
December
for 2022, right?
So that's not gonna count.
No,
I can't do that. I'm the employer.
Sorry.
I'm the teacher.
I don't know how that works, Mary. How does that
It's
work?
called train the trainer.
I would go on the New York State website and do it on the New York State, and they'll issue you the certificate.
Right.
Well, I'll just take it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
It'll be easier
Right,
than
so
going on the
just,
New York
just
State
doing
website.
it, right, yeah, so that's what I provided, I provided the link to the New York State one. So like, I provided you guys with the link to the training, so you just have to go through the website to the report and go back to it and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What's that?
I had to go on the New York's website, for something with the DOL. I gave up. I called the lawyer.
That's
Oh,
definitely,
yeah.
it's against it.
It's so frustrating.
All right,
So
can we, good and welfare.
If I'm not mistaken,
Next to me.
if I'm not mistaken, Mary, do you have a birthday coming up?
Today.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
goodness.
Happy birthday.
Did you celebrate? Did you go?
No.
He's here.
No.
I was gonna say, you couldn't get your husband to take you out to dinner or something? Monday nights, everything's closed, not Blackbird.
Yeah, that's right. So, thank you for sharing your birthday.
Yes. And then
So wait,
what?
meeting adjourned?
All right,
Motion to adjourn?
who's making it?
Hey, I
All
just
right.
made, that's motion to adjourn.
Second, John seconds, all in favor. Hey, good meeting, guys. What do you think,
Good night.
Joanne? Are we doing okay?
Bye.
Yes, you are. All right. Glad we have you.